If you've ever struggled to put on muscle, then in the next 5 minutes, you'll never struggle again. I'm Zach, I've been training for 13 years, coaching for 10, helping hundreds of men all around the world put on serious muscle after struggling for years on their own. Such as Alex and Charlie in 16 weeks, Sam in 9 weeks, and Garen in even as little as 4 weeks. They all trained for years before, but never quite got the result that they wanted until they followed the correct framework. This video is that framework, so if you're ready to build fast, let's dive in. First, choose your training split. The physique you build will be solely dictated by the split that you run. So first and foremost, start off by identifying how often you can train, ideally a minimum of 3, at a maximum of 5. The more often you go, the more specific that you can be. However, too often is very counterproductive as your body does need rest. Pick 2 areas of your body you want to bring up the most, put them at the start of all of your workouts, then opt for a split where you can hit the majority of muscles at least 2 times per week. My go-to splits are for 3 days, upper, lower, uppers, for 4 days, push, pull, legs, uppers, and for 5 days, push, pull, legs, push, pull. But the key here isn't the perfect plan, it's allowing that plan enough time and sticking to that plan consistently for a minimum of 12 weeks. Too many people jump from program to program and don't give their body long enough time to adapt and progress over time. And consistency is what separates those who will transform and those who will stay exactly the same. Once the split is on lock, choose a rep range. Now, research suggests that 5 to 30 reps is perfect for building muscle. However, I personally recommend 5 to 15 with your compound movements such as your presses and your rows on the lower end, because realistically, if you go very high reps with them, you'll be blowing out your arse and your cardiovascular system will more than likely fatigue a lot quicker than your muscles will. And for isolation movements such as a lateral raise and a bicep curl, I typically keep them on the higher end of that scale, because if you go too heavy, then you will find it difficult to get that mind-muscle connection that we're after. Then in terms of how many sets to do, I recommend 10 to 20 working sets per muscle, and a working set is classified as something that you take to complete failure. Typically start off on the lower end, then as you become more accustomed to the training program, scale and progress them sets up over time. What's much more important than sets and reps is tempo and intensity. Look, we all want to lift as heavy as possible, but your pecs do not know how much weight they are lifting, just your ego. So aim to train with the heaviest load that you can manage, but with good form. Good form being described as being able to control that load for 2 to 3 seconds in the negative, as well as getting the best possible range of motion out of the movement that you can. As research shows that the stretch is typically the most muscle building portion of the movement, so it only makes sense to prioritize loading that portion the most. Also, you get the added benefit that due to the control of the movement, you massively reduce your injury risk. Now we have the training established, it's time to move on to food, more specifically calories. Now, you don't need to be in a surplus to build muscle, but it certainly helps. However, the biggest mistake people make is, while yes, they're in the surplus, it's too big of a surplus, which, don't get me wrong, you will build a ton of muscle, but you'll also accumulate too much unwanted body fat, which only results in you needing to cut the bulk short and wasting time, which you should be using to build muscle, dieting instead. Now, specific calories are hard to give out as I don't know your exact situation. However, if you want a completely tailored roadmap specifically for you and your situation, then hit the top link in the description. Me and my team will reach out and we'll have a chat completely for free. We'll give you all the tools, take out all of the guesswork, and give a roadmap designed to get you to where you want to. Again, completely for free. Ideally, full transparency, we want you on the team because we can give you that roadmap and more so hold you accountable and guarantee that result. But no dramas if not, no stress. Simply take that roadmap away and implement yourself and get massive on your own. However, a simple formula that you can use is multiply your body weight in pounds by 15, then add 200 to 300 calories on top of that. If it goes up, you're in a surplus. If it goes down, you're in a deficit. And if it stays the same, then bingo, you're at your maintenance. Do this for 2 weeks, then adjust accordingly and make sure that the scales are going in the right direction. When we're bulking, we're aiming for about a 0.5% of body weight gain per week, as this is more than enough to ensure that we're building adequate muscle tissue, adequate strength, while still keeping them body fat levels to a minimum. Macro-wise, for gaining, I recommend 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, about 20 to 30% of your total calorie intake allocated to fats, Then I fill the rest of the macros with carbohydrates, prioritizing whole foods for better digestion and nutrient absorption. Split up your meals evenly throughout the day with a good balance of each individual macro aside from your pre and post workout meals. Now with these, I allocate 50% of my total carbohydrate intake between these two meals. The caveat here is that we want 0 grams or minimal grams of fat as possible in that post-workout meal, as this is when your body's ability to absorb nutrients is at its highest, and fats slow the release of carbohydrates and protein into the body, which is the opposite of what we want to do post-workout. So when it comes to your post-workout nutrition, ideally get a fast-acting carb source, a fast-acting protein source such as cereal and a protein shake, because then you'll optimize the nutrient absorption. For pre-workout carbohydrate allocation, I prefer a mix of fast digesting and slow digesting carbohydrates, such as something like oats, dark chocolate, and a little bit of fruit on there, such as a banana. And since we're gaining, you can also allocate something like an intra-shake, like cyclodextrin, for during your workout, if your calories are high enough and you can fit it in with your diet. Then in terms of adjustments, typically what I'll do is I'll increase my carbohydrate intake by 30 to 50 grams if weight, as in body weight or strength progression, doesn't improve over a 2-week period. But out of every step in this video, the reason that I myself and the team have managed to pack on serious size very fast is we stuck to the plan consistently. No ifs, no buts, no matter how we felt, no matter if we had a good day or a bad day, we woke up and we ticked off all of the boxes every single day consistently. Stop shooting for the perfect day every single day, waiting for the perfect time and situation to start, because consistently average will always beat occasionally perfect over the long run. And that wraps up the framework that I can confidently guarantee that if you follow to the letter and you do not miss a beat on for even just a short period of time, like Darren did for 4 weeks, that people will be questioning whether you're natural or not. And don't get us wrong, I know that this is a lot of information to take in, to go away and implement yourself. So like I said earlier in the video, if you want all of that guesswork taken out completely for free, hit that top link in the description, and then me and my team will reach out and put together a plan in place specifically for you to get you to where you want as fast as you desire. Now, full transparency, we want you on the team because, again, we can hold you accountable and we can guarantee a result like Garen, like Sam, like Alex, like Charlie, and even like myself. However, if you don't want to join the team, don't worry, there's no stress. Just simply take that roadmap away and have a crack at it all on your own. And don't forget to like, subscribe for more educational content like this.